Good morning, this is Kellan on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you begin your day.
Police are investigating a shooting near downtown Sioux Falls that sent a man to the hospital. Police say the man was shot in the area of 14th and Spring around 3 o'clock Sunday morning, and he walked to the Get and Go store at 14th and Minnesota, where first responders loaded him into an ambulance. Police say the man has non-life-threatening injuries.
A man who was near the scene at the time tells Kellan News that he heard as many as 5 gunshots. Police are confirming that multiple shots are fired. We expect to learn more during this morning's police briefing. You can watch it live right here on KELLAN.com starting at 10:30. Investigators in Rapid City are looking into an unattended death in the central part of the city. Officials say police were called to a drainage tunnel near East Boulevard and Omaha Street around 11:30 Mountain Time Sunday morning. Police arriving on scene found the body of a man behind a gated runoff tunnel.
An autopsy to determine the cause of death is being scheduled. Police are working to identify the man. Stay with KELLAN News on air and online as we learn more from the Rapid City Police Department. 2 people were taken to the hospital following a crash in the Black Hills over the weekend. Officials say it happened just after 6:30 Mountain Time Saturday night on Silver City Road. Multiple agencies, including the Johnson Siding and Silver City Volunteer Fire Departments, responded to the scene.
In these photos, you can see a car crash through a guardrail. The car then hit a tree. Officials say 2 other passengers in the car were stable and not taken to the hospital. 1 man is dead after drowning on a northwest Iowa lake. The Dickinson County Sheriff's Office says multiple agencies were called to Millers Bay on West Lake OKOBOJI just before 1:30 Saturday afternoon. Authorities say 21-year-old Alexander Grover jumped off a boat to swim when the boat started to drift away and he tried to swim back. He got tired and slipped under the water.
He could be seen under the water and family members tried to get to him. Officials then say a kayaker was able to dive down and get Glover to the surface. Family started CPR before a fireboat came and brought him to shore. Glover was taken to a local hospital where attempts to resuscitate him were unsuccessful.
Now let's get a check on our forecast with meteorologist Brian Carsons. Good morning, Brian.
All right, good morning. As we look at your morning weather, a fairly quiet start to the work week. Temperature-wise in the 80s later today. We find on radar, not much. The rain chances are fairly low, and anything that's popped up the last 12 to 24 hours in Nebraska has been pretty limited there. I would say overall that's the theme of the forecast. Primarily dry, low to mid-80s. Brookings to Sioux Falls today. Rapid City, more hazy sunshine there, high of 80, and also those hazy skies draped across northern KELLAN as well. We'll be looking ahead to that, plus your 7-day trends coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Brian. As high school and college graduates look ahead to the next chapter in their life, one Western Dakota Tech graduate is celebrating as a national award winner and history maker. Julius Morris became the first national outstanding technical student winner with a degree in criminal justice.
He is also only the 2nd student from Western Dakota Tech to win the award in school history. Morris couldn't believe he got nominated, let alone that he walked away as its winner.
I never tried to be outstanding. I just did everything I was supposed to do. I made the dean's list every semester. I didn't realize there was an award to be won until they told me about it, and I was like, wow, I can't believe I'm being nominated for this. And then to actually win the national award and represent my school, and to be the 2nd student, in the history to win that award was a pretty big deal.
Morris is now a correctional officer at the Western South Dakota Juvenile Service Center, where he hopes to provide inspiration to kids with whom he'll be working.
Sunday was graduation day for the seniors of the 4 Sioux Falls public high schools.
Proud parents filled the Sioux Falls Arena throughout the day as more than 1,600 seniors received their diplomas.
Always remember, there is no such thing as a life that is better than yours. So continue to love yours. Congratulations, class of 2023. Peace and love.
Congratulations to all 2023 graduates. Many of those seniors will receive scholarships for college, just like graduates across South Dakota's high schools. But at Millbank, they take it to a whole new level.
Since 1986, the Milbank Education Foundation has been handing out scholarships ranging from $2,500 to $26,000. This year, the scholarships total $230,000. All the money comes from unsolicited corporate, business, and family donations.
If you're on the board, so what do you like about this? What does it say about your community?
Milbank's unique. I think Milbank's always kind of taking care of their own. We're away from everybody. We're kind of hidden out there, but I think it just says a lot about the people in Milbank, how they're going to take care of their own and not be dependent on others.
The school's 38 seniors received a total of 55 scholarships, meaning some got more than one.
That is a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, our weather update today. We're looking at dry skies. We've got high pressure still in control of our weather for much of the region. Any rain chance today, if we see any isolated or renegade showers or thunder showers, it would be likely in the Black Hills, and that's even a low probability. Tomorrow, I would say there might be just a little better chance of a couple things popping out in the Black Hills. But again, kind of the repeat performance. Southerly wind, not too strong on the humidity yet, so we're electing to keep things dry. And this boundary to the north is actually going to redevelop or refocus here as we get toward midweek, and thus the chance of rain attached to the warm front to the north. Low pressure area up in Canada, which is good to see some rain finally starting to get up there in the prairies where they need it up in that direction and hopefully dousing some of those fires. But the result for most of eastern Ketherland is kind of a locked-in dry weather pattern. Our 7-day forecast for Sioux Falls has very little mention of rain for now. As long as that fetch of air comes off the Great Lakes and into Illinois and Iowa, it's an east-southeast wind, and it's fairly dry air. So that's kind of how I'd like to keep things going most of the week. Meanwhile, in western South Dakota, there are going to be chances of showers and thunderstorms coming in rounds here as we work some moisture out of western Kansas and western Nebraska, which, interestingly enough, you know, that's been a spot we've talked a lot this spring about needing rainfall and helping the worst of the drought monitors. So it's actually the pattern has a lot of good features to it. It's just that by the time we get to the end of this cycle, I will really make a pretty good judgment that many in eastern Ketherland would use a good shower or thunderstorm by that point. You go 7 days without rain, and folks will be talking about that. Let me show you the Gulf of Mexico. The moisture fetch is there, but it streams mostly on the western fringe of the Corn Belt, and it goes all the way into Canada. So see how that kind of parks itself through the end of the weekend, and this takes us all the way into next week. So we do have a fetch of moisture, but we have to be careful about who gets affected by that and how quickly on the timeline that happens, because for Rapid City, it's much different than Sioux Falls on the other end of Ketherland. But we do see the temperature forecast being about the same, top to bottom. In fact, if anything, the far northeast is actually warmer. We could see even a couple of numbers near 90 tomorrow in the Sisseton and Ortonville areas. Sioux Falls will likely be in the low to mid 80s, at least through Wednesday. And then we might be able to say slightly cooler at the end of the week, but I'm not really seeing much in the way of changing temperatures. Aberdeen, we do start to see at least some 20 and 30% chances of rain Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's connected to that fetch of moisture, but again, it's kind of a slow process. And if anything, we've noticed that trend has slowed down, and it's also becoming more evident that eastern Ketherland, a lot harder to get rain. Pierre, you're kind of sandwiched in the middle here. You can pick up some rain chances toward the end of the week, and once you work your way toward the Black Hills into Rapid City, then the chances of rain come in faster and stronger. I like the way Thursday is looking right now, the west here, and also Friday. We could even repeat that at times this weekend. Check out the details on that forecast online at ketherland.com.